of the host and do not necessarily represent those of the owners, management, staff, advertisers, or sponsors of this radio station. It is not our intent to make any defamatory statements or infringe upon the rights of any human being. Any such communication is contrary to our core values and beliefs as hosts of Heartbeat. I love that theme, boy. That music sounds so good. The whinings. Hey, guys, you got to dance like there's nobody watching, love like you've never been hurt, sing like there's nobody listening, and live like it's heaven on earth. Good morning. I'm Dr. J.O. GODBOLT.
And I'm Tony BILLINGSLEA.
And we're waiting on Dr. Ron to join us. But in the meantime, let me say happy Black History Month to all of you who are out there enjoying it with us. And to all those who are following us, this is the Heartbeat Flight 2026, where we still believe the truth is the truth if no one believes it, and a lie is still a lie even if everyone believes it. So don't you be deceived. There's one old folk used to say, don't lose your mind, because you'll probably never find it. It's a great day in the village of Lafayette. Pushing the buttons, making us sound so professional, is the Right Reverend Bishop Carl E. Brinkley Jr. So we appreciate having him on board with us today. And of course, we want to shout out to all of our Facebook friends who are following us as well. And to those at, let's say, in Laurinburg, WEWO 1460 AM, 92.5 FM. We're so grateful for you listening as well. WAGR in Lumberton, 1340 AM and 97.1 FM. And down in Red Springs, we love to hear from our Red Spring family sometime. WYDU, 1160 AM and 98.5 FM. We appreciate you. Of course, the flagship right here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, 1600 AM, and we got the rest of it at 99.7 FM here in Fayetteville. Of course, happy birthday anniversaries to all those who are celebrating anniversary or birthdays. We appreciate you calling in, letting us know. We've been saving this song now for about 7-8 years, maybe, I don't know. I hadn't got a chance to put it out there yet, but we're going to do that as well. And we also want you to spend some quality time with your family, quality time with your friends. Try your best not to be at home alone too often. Try to get out, get some of that vitamin D, real sunshine. No, don't take it in the pill. Get the real deal if you can. And let me remind you, Grief Share, waiting for Dr. Ron to come in, but Grief Share, we have it at our church every Wednesday. We just started a session 3 or 4 weeks ago. We want you to join us, jump in at any point. You can find Grief Share in your area by just going online and putting in www.griefshare.org, or you can do it locally here at our church, www.griefshare.onechurch@gmail.com. We can get you on board, take care of all those things that you need today, so that if you're going through grief, and as I've learned, even for pastors and those who are in training who are deacons, you might learn some things about what not to say, or some things that you can learn to say, oh man, look, I never thought about telling someone that. It sounds real spiritual until somebody tells you that's not where I am. You can learn that in Grief Share, okay? 3 topics today. Welcome, Dr. Ron. Good to have you with us.
Excuse my tardy, but I was pushing as hard as I could.
Okay, we'll let you slide this time. I've done that before, too.
Glad to have you, sir.
Good to be here.
My excuse was I just want to hear what it sounds like on the radio, and then I'll come in and do it. But we got 3 things we're going to talk about, and that was one of them right there, the art of deflecting. We got various ways that leaders and politicians avoid the truth, and we're going to talk about that. Also, the do's and don'ts when it comes to lending money to family and friends. And of course, we got to talk about early voting and what that means to all of us in this tape where we are right now. Plus, health tip and did you know? Okay, Coach, I've talked out. Now let me just take a break here. Let's get us started. What about this deflecting?
I tell you, you pat yourself on the back because this is a great assignment. I learned something I really didn't know a lot about. I know about truth and lying, but the way that people avoid the truth is one thing called deflection, and it's a psychological defense mechanism where a person redirects focus, blame, or criticism away from themselves to avoid uncomfortable truths, accountability, or negative emotions.
The question I have to ask, and it goes back to when I hear this promo that Weston saying they will use when people come on. You want the truth? You can't handle the truth.
Yeah.
I know it's a movie about which I've never seen, but that thought just kind of hits me. Why is it that we can't handle the truth, and why people enjoy that sort of politicians deflecting the truth? And they use strategies. This is not something that one person is doing, but there's a strategic, practical technique to evade answering the question directly. If you've been following any of the meetings in, I would say, Congress, when they're meeting and talking with anybody, it's amazing how these folk can not answer a question.
Yeah.
And they can spend so much time, one of them called the straw man argument, where you distort the opponent and employ what's called the fogging technique. That's what politicians like to do a lot when you are making sure that you deflect and put something on that person, and other people scratching their head and saying, well, it's out there. I wonder is it true? And they're using that technique. But to answer the question, why is it hard for us to handle the truth?
I think it goes back like that movie, and I've seen it. Jack Nicholson says that to the young lawyer, Tom Cruise was playing. But anyway, it says here, and I'm looking at it saying, truth is easy to do, but when you are dealing deflection, you try to make truth complicated. So that, in other words, I can't explain this to you because truth is complicated, but the truth is not complicated. But they operate from it's complicated, it's complex, so I can't explain it all to you.
You know, I was reading, as a matter of fact, this morning in my word for today, John declared, ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. And boy, as you say, it's a strategy that people use to deflect the truth, knowingly that what they're deflecting is truth, and an attempt to avoid shame, an attempt to profit. They continue to dismantle and avoid the truth. It looks like politicians have become expert at this strategy of deflecting and avoiding the truth.
We'd love to hear your opinion on this as we're going to be moving through these topics as quickly as we can, because this is the fastest hour of the day between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m., especially on Fridays. But the number hasn't changed, 910-483-6111, for you to call as we talk about the truth and why people deflect and the different. When I pulled this up and started looking at it, I mean, the different ways that you can deflect. You almost have to go to school to figure this out, to do people like this.
That's why I was getting ready to say politicians must go to a special school that they learn how to do this, because they do it excellent.
I mean, when you think about gaslighting, one of the term gaslighting or fake news claims, dismissing critical media reports and opposing the facts by fabricating, which makes the public doubt their own perception of reality. When you can cause people, the technique to be able to cause people to scratch their heads and wonder, now I thought that was true, but now since they said that, maybe it's not true. So you've got them, their minds messed up trying to figure out who do I believe? And that is one of the things that we notice, the constant information being put out there, that fake news, they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs, or whatever they're putting out there to make someone scratch their head. Well, let me check. Are they really eating cats and dogs?
Sir, I when I have an opportunity to watch the White House press secretary and people in that arena give out information that the public really needs, and how they manipulate the information that they give out. You mentioned the word strategy, and I can imagine in some of these meetings that they have prior to going before the press and the television cameras and the radio microphones, that they sit down and strategize what exactly they're going to say and how they're going to maneuver around the truth, which is unfortunate for people like you and I who are trying to stay informed and pray for this government that we have. That's a tragedy.
You know, the other thing is we were raised and most of us, the senior citizens of these ages, we were raised where when you saw something on TV or you saw a newspaper, it was pretty truthful. No doubt about it. I mean, you know, and you didn't have to do a whole lot of fact checking. It was pretty straight, like a Walter Cronkite. You know, they would tell it just like it is. And nowadays, so much is out there that's not truth. And some people just grab what they see or what they hear and say it's the truth, and that makes it more complicated. And so that makes it easy for them to deflate what is really the truth.
Yeah. If you have an opportunity, I had the opportunity to watch a televised Broadway play, and I can't think of the exact name of it, but it was about Edward R. Murrow, who was a journalist back in the 50s. And simply by telling the truth, he brought down Joseph McCarthy, who was a staunch conservative, and he blackballed hundreds of people, maybe thousands of people during that era, simply by spouting lies about them being involved in communism and things that were against patriotism. And he even attacked Edward R. Murrow, but he stayed the course and simply told the truth. It was difficult for him.
Sure. As we look at this, obviously we don't need to know everything that's going on in the military or certain areas of life. But when it comes to safety, insurance, benefits, health care, education, protection of the people, being fairness, equity, equality, there should be no hiding of anything when it comes to the safety of the people. But when you can deflect or tell part of the truth and then add, as we know, add your own opinion or add something to it to shift it so people can start blaming each other. And that's the dark side of what we're seeing in America now, blaming another person, blaming another entity of people, blaming a former president. I mean, I got news from our senator telling us that there's going to be benefits for the people who are seniors, and their Social Security is going to be not taxed anymore. But he had to put in the front of it that the former president messed up and did this, and we are straightening it out. And I'm thinking, what's happening to just doing right because it's right? Because the benefit now of making sure everyone is fairly treated for a long period of time is more important than just being truthful. And as one person said, look, come in and do 4 years and get out.
Yeah, one of the things I pray for daily, and we actually prayed for it as a corporate group last month, was discernment, that God would give us discernment. And after looking over this information and studying it, which I'll do further, I'll have a little bit more discernment, and I'll be a little bit more astute as how I view things. You mentioned common tactics that they use: blame shifting, turning the accusation back on the accuser, changing the subject or deflecting it to unrelated topics, minimizing or joking, that is downplaying the issue. And we see these tactics being used on a daily basis right now, unfortunate.
But when you think about avoiding accountability, to me, that's one of the biggest ones. Blaming the blame game, minimizing it, so that you don't have to take responsibility for something that is important to the people. I'm listening to many of the people who are running for office here locally, and thank God that WIDU has offered every candidate the same platform that they can give what they are standing for, what they believe in, what they are asking why people should vote for them. But the biggest piece of this is I'm listening to find out, and they do it, how many of them have really gotten to the point where they listen to the grassroots and really bringing to the forefront what people want versus deflecting and telling people, here's what I believe you need.
Yeah, and you had mentioned the term gaslighting, and I really didn't understand it to the degree to understand it now, is that it's a deliberate tactic to make someone doubt their own reality or their own belief.
Now, if you notice it, now we had this happen, if you let gas stay on in the house, it starts to mess with your mind. And you don't know that what's going on, but you realize I'm not who I should be. And that mentality, that process, or that, if you align it up as an illustration, that's what we're seeing. People are just, man, they were getting messed up, and we can't figure out who's telling the truth.
You know, and this telling the truth goes back to Adam and Eve in the garden. They you know, and so that sin has continually been in the nature that we're born with.
Yes.
I mean, they probably could have talked to God. I'm straight up, God. This is what happened. You know, like the young people say, straight up.
Straight up,
I'm telling the truth right now. And they could have probably got in a better position, but then they went deflecting the truth. Well, you know, the serpent, he you know, and
it's that woman you gave me.
That woman you gave me. So now he's throwing it back on God. You gave me the woman. It's your fault.
It's your fault.
You know, and that sin is something we have to pray over and get over, and that's what we have to teach our children when they're little children. Tell our parents, you talking about get a beating. If you lie,
tell me the truth now.
You tell the truth.
Tell me the truth.
You have a chance of getting a few licks.
Yeah, I think I had more whoopings than anything. It was lying.
I remind me that time you preached that sermon, Dr. Ron, and I never forget it. Said, had David been there instead of Adam, God, David would have said, Lord, I've sinned. I sinned against you. I messed up. And David would have got this straight.
You know, I got a bad heart. Create me a clean heart. Renew the right spirit. David would have got right with God.
He got right with God.
God probably would have raised up his belt and said, okay, boy. Okay, I'll give you one more chance.
Adam decided to hide among the trees.
But the guy didn't leave the garden. I'm not leaving. I'm a hide. And that's what's happening in the church right now. People don't leave, they hide in there. But it brought back my mind when I told you I did this stint, 18 months, or stint. A stench. This 18 months with federal juror, and I had the opportunity to swear people in for one of those sessions. And I read this thing. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? And I got so caught up into that, the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. And I kept saying that over and over again, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And it brought back to my mind how we can hear something, but we don't tell all of it as it is. And that's one of the techniques of what we call half-truths or iniquity, when you add something to it, which is another way that people will do that and use it. And then another one is moral flexibility. I saw this one when politicians justify bending the truth if they believe the core message supports their supporters. Yeah, and that's another way to make people feel like, well, the means justifies the end. It's okay for him to lie because in the end it's going to be better for us. It's never okay to lie. But we have found a way to morally flex truth to say it may be incorrect, but it brings out a real.
at one point in my life, I thought I wanted to go into law. And I really thought about it and prayed about it. And I thought, well, how could I morally and ethically defend someone in court that I knew was guilty?
Wow,
And that's always a driving point for me. But people who study the law, they're excellent at it, and that's their, I guess, God-given gift and field. But I look at how men now manipulate the Constitution. I believe God had a hand in helping our forefathers write the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence so that we would have a form of government that would be as fair as it could be to people. And we see daily men will go before the highest court in the land, the Supreme Court, and manipulate those documents for their own purpose.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been good talking to you. We're going to do a part 2 of this sometime, somewhere. But we've got to break for the news, and when we come back, we're going to give you a did you know health tip. We're going to make that last few minutes stretch. I don't care what they say. We'll make it happen. This is Heartbeat on WIDU. Good morning.
Day of early voting in North Carolina, the two major candidates for North Carolina's Senate seat greeted voters. Governor Roy Cooper was in Raleigh, and Michael Whatley, who was the former National Republican Party chair, was in Gastonia to vote. Partial government shutdown is looming after the Senate failed to advance a measure to fund the Department of Homeland Security. Medical experts at Novant Health report colon cancer is a second leading cause of death in the U.S., and it is the most common cancer in the country. And young actors James Van Der Beek and Chadwick Boseman both battled from colon cancer before they passed away. Town officials in Carolina Beach say nearly $500,000 was stolen during 2 cyber attacks in December. Inflation cooled in January. The Consumer Price Index dropped to 2.4% from a year earlier, down from 2.7% in December. Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
I'm Jamie Monticelli, WIDU Radio News. At about 7:45 p.m. on February 11th, the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office deputies went out to 4023 Sunnyside School Road in Fayetteville on a commercial burglar alarm. When deputies got there, they observed the front door window pane was shattered. Deputies saw video footage and discovered that an unknown suspect broke the window, then threw a Molotov cocktail inside the business. The suspect appears to be a black male wearing a black on gray hooded jacket and gray pants with a black strip running down the seam. If you know anything about him, contact the Sheriff's Office at 910-677-5499. Fire Chief Kevin Dove is proud to announce that the Commission on Professional Credentialing has just awarded Assistant Chief Patrick McArdle with the professional designation of Chief Fire Officer. Following an extensive peer review process, that designation recognizes demonstrated excellence in 7 measured components. From WIDU Radio, I'm Jamie Monticelli.
High pressure will be in place for today, keeping us dry across the region. It's a cold start to the day, then we're cool this afternoon. Then we'll still be chilly overnight and into Saturday morning before we have a warmer day on Saturday. That's ahead of a good chance for rain on Sunday. Mostly clear to start our Friday with temperatures in the upper 20s and low 30s. We'll have lots of sunshine by this afternoon. Highs reach the low to mid 50s. Highs reach the low 60s on Saturday. For the North Carolina News Network, I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the Weather Center.
Wake up, catch the vision, join the team. This is Pastor Reginald Johnston of My Father's House Christian Church right here in Fayetteville. We want you to wake up and join the team. Behold, how good and pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It's good when we come together. We're one body, many parts. We desire that you wake up and join the team. It's good to be a part of Wake Up. Wake up, join the team. We will see you in Jesus' name. God bless you.
I am thrilled to share the honor of receiving an endorsement from the Union Food and Commercial Workers and the North Carolina State AFL-CIO. Let us reflect on the powerful words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The time is always right to do what is right. I am Charles Evans, your dedicated candidate for County Commissioner at Large. Together, we can carry this essential work forward on your behalf. For bold and intentional leadership, vote Charles Evans for County Commissioner at Large. Paid for by the committee to elect Charles Evans.
At Fayetteville State University, you will do something you thought you could never do. And never say never again. With NC Promise $500 per semester tuition, dare to see where you can go. Check out all your options, including our new cybersecurity program. Because tomorrow just can't wait. Fayetteville State University. Anything really can happen. Are you in?
This is Apostle Preston Davis Jr., Senior Pastor of True Love Church International. We would like for you to come out and join us at our morning worship service starting at 11 o'clock a.m. And also on Wednesday night, join us in our Bible study at 7 o'clock p.m., where the Spirit of the Lord dwells and the Word of God is taught. The location is 625 Kellum Circle. Come join us.
Okay, we're talking for basketball. Let me hush. Okay, welcome back to Heartbeat. We talked about how fast the hour runs, so let me get back into the business at hand. Good morning. I'm John Godbolt.
I'm Ron Godbolt.
And I'm Tony Billingsley.
This is Heartbeat Flight 2026, where we still believe the truth is the truth, even if no one believes it, and a lie is still a lie, even if everyone believes it. Are you a truth teller? Answer that. Or do you really tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God. Did you know? We'll do a did you know instead of answering that question. What you got, Doc?
Did you know tigers have stripes on their skin, not just their fur?
Okay,
And
so
I wonder who got that close to find out that.
they put him to sleep or he was already dead.
Yeah, one of the two.
One of the two.
He was dead.
He was dead.
He
dead.
He did.
Now I can find out for sure that's true.
I told you I saw one up close. I mean, I got really close to one. 500 pounds.
Good God.
When you see 500 pounds of a cat, and he didn't growl, he didn't roar at me, he just growled because he was eating. I got too close, and it felt like the ground was shaking. I said, "This is too much." No wonder Daniel in a lion's den, because lions come up about 350 pounds, about the top of them, but a tiger can outweigh him 150 pounds.
I'm like you. I remember the first time seeing one alive and up close.
Yes, sir.
It's unreal.
It's massive.
You wouldn't want to be caught in the forest or jungle with one of those.
Not with one of them.
Yeah. Let's see. This being Black History Month, let's go with this. Did you know?
Okay.
Did you know? In 1878, Marie Salika Williams is the first black musician to sing at the White House. She was a legendary soprano from Natchez, Mississippi, and she sang for President Rutherford B. Hayes and First Lady Lucy Webb Hayes in the Green Room. Her performance included a staccato, polka, and another Italian word that I can't pronounce.
Pronounce that one.
Yeah, but she was there, and I think she concluded with Ave Maria.
Awesome. Awesome, man. That's good. I was just thinking about the young lady, I almost called her name Erica, that was the first black female to win a gold medal just a couple of days ago in the speed race.
Yes.
It's a simple name, too. I will look it up. But did you know, surprisingly, when we would see the old movies and someone was in quicksand and they start going down, did you know that quicksand density is higher than that of a human body, which makes it impossible for you to sink in it. So if you kept your hands above the quicksand and kick your legs either forward or out, in and out like you're swimming, you can wiggle your way out of quicksand. because the density of human body is lighter than quicksand.
So those
Television.
old Tarzan movies manipulated the truth.
Yeah, boy. Whoever,
In more ways than one.
yeah, boy.
Flating the truth.
Yeah, we got it. We got him out there. Okay, got a health tip for you guys. What you got there, Captain?
Adults need play as much as children. Research has shown that play for adults is not frivolous. It reduces stress if you get some fun and silliness into your life. Do things just for pleasure. It will help reduce your stress. Dance, build something, cook something, do something creative.
Good.
Play.
All right.
What you got there?
What about have a super berry dessert? Dark color berries like blueberries and blackberries contain compounds that fight inflammation and help protect your brain. They say 1 cup of blueberries consumed daily for 6 months can also cause a lower risk of cardiovascular disease by 12 to 15%.
That's good.
I believe that. I'm going to load up again today.
That's a good thing.
Yes.
I want to make sure that as seniors get to that point where you need better sleep, establishing that routine we talked about before, making sure that you do the same thing at the same time. Try to get up at the same time, go to bed at the same time, including weekends. Okay, make sure that your bedroom is dark and it's quiet and it is cool. Keep these screens, TVs, phones, and whatever is off. And if you wake up at night and you can't go back to sleep immediately, get up, read something, and that reading will bring you back to. No, don't watch the phone. Don't pick up the phone. Read out of a book something or newspaper, and that will put you back into a sleep mode, and you can finish your rest.
Yeah.
Okay?
And I took your advice from 2-3 weeks ago, and I've reached a milestone in my weight loss, and I'll tell you and Dr. Ron about it after
Okay.
we're off the air.
We got to do that. We got to talk about that. Okay, while we got a few moments here before MP1, 2, and 3 come in, these guys are amazing. We have so much fun between the shows talking to each other. The do's and don'ts when it comes to lending money to family and friends. Okay, Doc, what do you think? What do y'all think about that? When I saw that, I said, I got to put this out here.
Buddy,
This is good. Okay.
I learned something there, too.
Me
Some
too.
things that I had not done that I sure need to consider. Some do's and don'ts of lending money for family and friends is, I guess, treat yourself like a lending institution. Put it in writing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Only lend what you can afford to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
set
good.
clear expectations for to define the loan and when it's going to be repaid and how it's going to be repaid.
You can see how friendships and family can be broken up with that situation, because some people, when they see you living in a certain home or driving certain things, they assume that your wealth should be spread among them as well immediately, without understanding. I didn't get here giving money away.
That's right. Or they assume that, oh, he ain't gonna miss it if I don't pay him back. He ain't gonna miss it because he doing good.
Doing good.
Without even considering that. Even in the very beginning, the thought of paying you back was never part of the deal.
That's right.
In the first place. So by putting it in writing, and like you said, a great idea, pretend that you are an institution and not an individual, and see how well they still want.
Yeah. One author here even recommend consider charging interest, because this makes the loan more professional and covers inflation or the cost of your lost investment if they don't pay, Yeah.
Well, one of the things that we share in the church often with people, I said, never lend the money unless two things. Number one, if you don't get it back, you won't hurt your family. And number two, you can look at them again and see them and not have a animosity or any kind of ill will in your heart or intent toward them. If you can't do those two things, you need to tell them, I'm sorry, I can't afford it. And afford does not mean financially. It means I cannot afford to put myself in that position and live knowing that you owe me. And every time I see you come up with something new, I'm thinking, why didn't you pay me back? And I got an attitude.
Keep it confidential. That is between you and the person involved. Avoid involving other family members or friends to protect the borrower's dignity and the relationship. I thought that was good, because sometimes, I let him have $20 and he ain't paid me back yet.
And you got a new nickname for him.
Yeah.
And set clear, realistic terms. I mean, sometimes when you put people under the gun, they need some help immediately, and they make promises to do something, but they really can't pay you back in that way.
Right.
So make sure that you say, well, let's look at this now. How can you really pay it back? How long will it take you to get to this point where you can pay it back? Because sometimes people ask you for some money, and you're wondering, boy, they must have felt, they must think I'm rich to get that kind of money. Plus, I don't know you that well.
Yeah. You know, Dave Ramsey, who's always good, says, a loan between family members or even friends isn't help. It's a trap for both parties.
Yeah.
And he's saying, the family dinners, get-togethers is going to be different when you're sitting down to eat with a creditor instead of just a family or friend. Yeah. So your whole mindset changes on that.
Yeah.
It's a tough call. We all have been at the point where we needed some help.
Yeah.
But I think we like you said, we got to make some goals to pay back, and then make sure they're realistic goals that you can afford to do.
Part of that is character. I mean, you want to build character in people, and I understand. Been there myself as a young man, married with children, and you find yourself in a position where I need some help, and going to somebody with the intent of paying them back, and they were willing to help me to get through that place. So I want to pay it forward, but at the same time, being willing to pay it back and making sure I do what I said I was going to do was the most important thing.
Yeah. One of the key don'ts that this author said is don't jeopardize your own finance. Never tap into your emergency fund or retirement savings to help someone else. And don't ever co-sign a loan.
I was getting ready to say that. Please, if they don't have enough credit by themselves to get it, they might need to wait and find another way, because I did that. I've done that before. One time I got out well, another time I did it, and I wound up, my credit was hurt by that, and took me a long time to get it back up, because the person that I trusted to do it didn't do it. Please, do not go sign a loan.
Yeah, I had a wise person tell me, if you need a co-signer, you can't afford it.
Yeah. That's it. That's what it's, and I agree with it. You got to, sometimes you get out there and they look like you want to make, and I hate this when people, they would let you buy something based on your gross. That's the number you use, but you don't get that amount of money. You buy. You need to buy it on your net and looking at that.
Yeah.
But being aware of having a conversation with them, openly discussing repayment plans and expectation.
Yeah.
Don't put God in something when He says in man be in man, in business be a man. Okay. Don't put God in that. This is not a God equation. God didn't send you to me.
Yeah.
You came to me thinking. Okay. So let's be, and don't get mad and say, I'm not going to hear him preach anymore.
And I've heard that one.
Yeah.
God told me to come to you because you were going to let me have such and such. And I thought,
I was praying and I saw a vision of you.
Yeah.
No,
I didn't get that message yet.
I told the church one time, it got real quiet. I said, I wish when members joined the church, I had enough money I could just go and give them $200-300 and said, now, if that's all you came for, then you got what you came for. Now, you that want to be members, that want to work in the church, you can pay yours back when you get ready. And I think you cut off some of that. People just show up at your church. It's amazing. And they show up after service. They never show up during service, or they come into service. But as soon as you get ready to walk out the door, here they come. Need some money.
Yeah. And you and I, we've seen instances where churches have just about gone broke or broke up because they've lent people money to get out of certain situations, and people know when they come to the church to borrow, well, I ain't gonna pay them back because they take up offering every Sunday.
they good. Yeah.
They good.
Damn.
And which is another thing, you're not supposed to loan if a church loan money to pay back. You lose your 501c3
Yeah.
if
Yes.
you're doing that.
If you're doing that.
However, paying someone's bill or helping someone with their electricity bill or whatever. But here again, another piece is don't ignore the previous unpaid loans.
Uh-oh.
If they already hit somebody, and you all need to talk to each other. Yeah. We got some folk that can move from one family member to another, one side of the church to another,
I know it.
and they're hitting everybody here and there. We're not talking, but let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
Has John GODBOLT come ask you for some money?
Yeah.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then somebody needs to sit down with them and have the hard questions answered.
Oh, yeah.
What's going on in your life that you need to borrow so much?
Yeah.
Nice Christians. One of the things they folk don't like, they talk about you shouldn't pay tithe. I find out if you're not faithful to God, you're not faithful any place else.
I know.
Yeah, and we've all been in tight spots, and I've had some people to help me, and thank God they didn't look for anything back. But when I was able to, I tried to give them something back.
I had this one of our members, bless her heart, she's an incredible lady. She had a car that she gave to a member and told them, you can pay me X amount of money every month. And the girl was very faithful in doing so. When she made the last payment, she had taken all the money, put it in an account, and gave her the account with all the money back.
Wow.
Well, she didn't really need the car or the money, but she wanted to make sure she was faithful in what she done. And she gave every dime of it back when she paid everything forward.
That's good.
Yeah. So that part of that has to do with building character and integrity. And like you said, being faithful to what God says first, ladies and gentlemen, and then organizing your finances in a way that you can say, we don't need to buy a car right now that with a loan 72 months on it. Let's go and get us a hoopty and let's work and not drive until we need to drive it.
That's right.
Don't be out here trying to do major things. Look at what you can afford and build your relationship, build your finances, build your credit up in a positive manner. A slow, daily, weekly, this dream of winning the lottery, put that back somewhere. Let's be practical here.
That's
Let's
right.
pretend you will never win the lottery, okay?
That's right.
What do you do with life? How do you deal with it?
Getting some emergency fund ready, keep some money on hand for a tough situation when things come up, because batteries die, tires go flat, things happen.
Well, if we now look at, when you travel the world and you see how other people live, America does not live like the majority of the world. Two cars, garage, a big house, a dog and a cat and a goldfish. I mean, we got this American dream that doesn't fit any place else. Very few places around the world it fits. So when you consider, when I go to a place and have to preach, I can't talk about faith on the order of buying this. You have to. These people are. I'm sitting in a place in Togo. We're coming back through an area, and we see the trash truck. They're dumping off trash, and just all kind of smell and fumes and leakage coming out. And a woman is standing there waiting for that thing to dip out. She got a stick in her hand, a baby on her back, and she's digging through that, trying to find something in a country that is
eat.
something to make life better. I can't go there talking about a Mercedes and anyway. So sometimes once you get out there and see what life looks like for other people, you start to figure out what's really important. Is that car is trying to impress the Joneses or whomever you're trying to impress? Is it really worth that?
Yeah. We've got this mindset, unfortunately, in America, that we always have to have abundance. Like you say, one car is not good enough. I need 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I have had the opportunity to live overseas in 2 different countries, and they don't even shop for groceries and produce the way we do.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
I was so surprised to see Japan. Nobody has a large freezer or large refrigerator in their home. All of them are very small because they shop daily, consume what they purchased that day or the next day, and then go back again.
It's amazing. So anyway, we could talk about that for a while, but just we need to consider some of the things that we do and back away.
Can I say this point?
Sure.
I remember a lady was teaching with me, and she just got married, and she said to me, Ron, I'm not going to teach anymore after this year. I said, oh, you're not? She said, no, my husband, I want to be there when he get home. I want to, cook him breakfast before he go to work. And she said this to me finally. She said, and I don't need a whole lot. And I tell my wife about that. Ain't that something?
Yeah.
But most of us say a whole check. I mean, she could bring another check in the house, but she said I don't need a whole lot, and that's what I want to do.
I read a book about a woman who did that. She was a medical doctor. Her husband was a shoe salesman. They had 3 children or 4, I can't remember. She gave up her profession, and she encouraged him. He wound up not only becoming a shoe salesman, a better top shoe salesman, but he began to own companies and create his own. And their children graduated. 2 or 3 of them became medical doctors because she decided to stay home and become that in the house. Now, that's not for everybody. But sometimes when you start to stretch out and get more, you spend more rather than...
And you lose that nucleus with your family that you can pour into the children while the children...
Wow.
Yeah, one of my friends was a millionaire. He said, I wasted my health to get my millions. Now I'm spending my millions to get my health back.
Wow.
So it all depends on where you put your values in the first place.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, look, we got a few minutes left here. Early voting. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to spend these last few minutes encouraging you to get out and vote. I got out yesterday. My wife and I both just found those sites, and several of them around our area. If you're in Cumberland County, several sites, and they got them strategically located so you can be able to get to a place so you can vote. I went over to Cliffdale, and I pulled up in there, man, there were cars everywhere. I said, oh, man, there's a lot of folk out here getting ready to vote. When I pulled in, I noticed the Cliffdale Elementary School was next to it, and these parents were over there to pick up their kids. I walked straight in nonstop. There was nobody in there but me voting. I said, now, we got to make sure we need to change that. So, anyway, I saw some people out there trying to talk to the parents. Why don't you vote while you're here? But the other thing is I found out after our meeting Wednesday with Pastor Raul Wallace, I got to stay alive until the midnight, March 3rd, because my vote is not counted.
Right.
If I die, it could be counted, but the point is if I die before then, before the midnight, March the 3rd, when they count the votes, early votes then my vote will be matched with my death certificate. That the people from the funeral home has to turn in death certificates. So if see my name is a dead person and I voted early, then my vote has to be taken off.
Yeah.
Pull you out.
Pull out. Yeah.
People. I hope that's Jesus. People don't realize that when you vote early, your ballot is provisional.
Yeah, it's called provisional.
And as a matter of fact, if you look on the top of it, you'll see that it's a provisional ballot, and it will not be counted until after midnight on the day of the election. That was an awesome show that you and Pastor Raul Wallace did on voter registration. And this letter that was sent out that some of us may have received and disregarded. But if you need to know what your registration status is, you can go to ncsbe.gov, which is the North Carolina State Board of Elections. And you can pull up your information simply by typing in your name and the county that you live in, and you can look at your voter registration information. You can correct it if it's incorrect, and you can see what district you're in for Senate, Congress, all local elections, and you can also, like I say, you can change your information, and you can also pull up a sample ballot.
One of the simplest things is Pastor Wallison was sharing with us. She said sometimes it's just something as simple as the fact that you had a hyphen in your name prior to, but then you took the hyphen out and you just use your maiden name, or the numbers didn't line up. And like you said, with his wife received one, and they haven't moved, lived in the same area for all those years, but yet she got one. We had a person who's running for an office who called in and said, I got one. So it could be something, again, the minuscule situation of the number of people who are trying to fraud the government by voting twice or putting dead people out there it's so minuscule that it's not even worth talking about. However, somehow or another, your vote is so important or dangerous to someone else, ours, that they don't want you to vote, or they want to make it difficult for you to vote. So let's use it. Let's make it work to our advantage and say, get the information. All I did was bring a real ID, my real ID, and they pulled up my information and I voted.
Yeah, and that was good to hear that the process that they have in place and the volunteers that they have working at the polls and the Board of Elections, almost 100% assure that there's no fraud in the voting.
Exactly.
And that's glad to hear. And now we got people sitting in Congress holding bills hostage simply because they're against voter ID. I don't understand the problem. You got to have an ID to drive a car. You get married, you got to get an ID. When you die, they're gonna give you a death certificate. That's a form of ID.
Yeah.
So I don't get it.
Yeah.
Well, look, it's 11 o'clock. We got to get out of here. And remember, the only thing that evil needs to triumph is for good men to do nothing. Bye-bye.